You know I'm still a liquor in the weed, child. I still got Branson on speed dial. And everybody's the king now. You ain't gotta be nice, getting shot is the thing now. Mafia was doing their best, then separated now. Rock and Gutter doing the stretch.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. Today we're going to be talking about a house that is no longer a secret in Fragcom. You know, Mark has talked about it, Renee's talked about it, Eric's talked about it, and it's doing really well and starting to get some serious traction behind it in the United States. And the house is Profumum Roma, and the fragrance we're talking about today is called Dulcis in Fundo. And before we talk about this fragrance, let me talk a little bit about how I found out about this house and who they are. So, as many of you know, when I started this channel, it was going to be about fragrances and men's grooming products and wet shaving products. I was a member of this website, I still am actually, called Badger and Blade at the time. And it's a great website to meet new people and discuss wet shaving and grooming and fragrances. And they had a very short-lived sort of fragrance of the month club that did splits. You know, they'd pick a fragrance, we'd say how many mils we wanted, they'd get orders, and they'd order the bottle or bottles and split it and send them out. And first two fragrances that they picked were Sartorial by Penhaligon's and Arso by Profumum Roma. And at the time I knew of Penhaligon's, but I had never heard of Sartorial, and I'd never heard anything about Profumum Roma, but I got 8 mLs of both. Now, Sartorial, for those of you who might not know, has become a top niche scent for me. It's just, I love it. And I loved it as soon as I got my nose on it. It was just so different from anything else that I smelled at the time. And it was my first real whiff of a Bertrand Duchaufour fragrance and the genius that's behind them. Arso, on the other hand, was very different than anything I had experienced before. It was so smoky and woody. To me, it smelled like a log cabin in the dead of winter right in front of a wood-burning stove. And Arso, for those of you who might not know, means burned in Italian. But what also blew me away about Arso was the strength that the fragrance had, just the potency of nothing that I'd ever tried up to that point. Even today, I still marvel at it. Arso wasn't right for me. You know, maybe I'll revisit it and determine that I do want it. But at Profumum Roma pricing, I just decided that I'd pass on that. But I wrote the name of the house down and decided that somewhere down the line, I was going to get some bottles from this house. Now, again, before we talk about Dulcis in Fundo, let's do Profumum Roma first. Profumum Roma was started by a husband and wife named Celestino and Lucia Durante. And they're from a very small town in Italy called St. Elena Sanita, a town that only had 250 residents at the time. They moved to Rome after World War II, and they come from a family of artisan craft makers who had made shaving soap, and they opened a very tiny store in Rome that eventually grew into a chain, an Italian chain that sold curios, home fragrance, soap, and beauty products. Eventually, this chain store was passed down to their grandchildren, Celestino and Luisa. And in 1996, they decided to use the stores to start a line of personal fragrances. And I guess the way that these made their way to the United States, could be wrong about this, was that Lucky Scent discovered these in Italy and worked really hard to bring them to the U.S. And as of today, they're only in 2 retailers in the U.S., Lucky Scent and Oswald in New York City. I can't begin to tell you how happy I am that this brilliant Italian house is sold in my city. They make so many beautiful scents, gourmand scents, citrus scents, oceanic scents, smoky and woody scents, floral scents. They're just all unbelievably powerful. I think they're presented nicely, and when you actually do the math, they're not that expensive considering the strength of the fragrance that you're getting. Excuse me. So, the 3 that I checked out first from this house were Dulcis in Fundo, Acqua Zucchero, and Battito Dali. And I wanted to check out Vanitas as well, but Oswald didn't have it in stock, and I did pick this up from Oswald, which is a fantastic fragrance store, very quickly becoming my favorite fragrance store in New York City. This cost $240 for 100 ml of EDP concentration. And guys, I smelled the other 2, and I really enjoyed those 2, Battito di Ali and Acqua Zucchero, and they're staying on my to-buy list, but I just had to grab this one first. And just a very short, just a very short sort of tale about Oswald is every time I go in there, I just feel so at ease and so comfortable. And normally, you know, when I go into high-end shops, sometimes I sort of feel a little anxiety, you know, going into a store of such expensive and wonderful things. Sometimes I go in there and I'm a little nervous. But Oswald, that never happens. The people that run that store, and the manager and just the people that work there are just so friendly and so knowledgeable and so wanting to help and guide you. And it's an experience, a retail experience that's very few and far between. So I would definitely check them out if you haven't been there, because they're a great store. Forget about all the wonderful fragrance lines they have. Just the fact that these are good people and they know what they're talking about. Great place. Now, as far as Dulcis and Fundo, this one was released in 2006. The notes on it are very simple: citruses and vanilla. And this goes back to, remember I've said in the past that Italians inherently like simple things. You can see it in their cooking. Very simple dishes prepared with excellent technique and top-of-the-line ingredients. Let me give you an example of what I mean. One of my favorite things to make, I'm a pretty good cook. I don't know how many of you know that, but I am. I love making just simple pasta al dente with tomato sauce. And the way I make my tomato sauce are with onions and 2 garlic cloves in the pan, sauteing a little bit of olive oil. And after 10 minutes or so, when the onion starts to get translucent, I take the garlic out so that it just flavors the olive oil. Then I add in hand-crushed San Marzano tomatoes, just a couple of dashes of red pepper flakes, and at the end, some fresh basil leaves. Now, I go to the farmer's market in Union Square to get the basil and onion and garlic. So I have all these wonderful, fresh from farm ingredients to prepare the pasta. And once the pasta's done, al dente, I toss it in the sauce just to coat it. Because remember, in Italy, sauce is supposed to be a condiment. That's why there's ridges in some pastas like rigatoni. They're there to absorb the sauce. You don't want to put it on top. You don't want to put the pasta on a plate and then put the sauce on top. You toss it. And what I do, just so you guys know, is I toss the pasta with this little bit of sauce, a teaspoon of the pasta water, the water that the pasta cooked in, and a teaspoon or 2 of butter, just to give it like this sort of richness and creaminess. But my point with this is that I get all those ingredients from the farmer's market. And then if I was going to top the dish off with some, Kraft or Polio Parmesan cheese out of a can, that would fuck the whole thing up. Instead of grating it freshly, going to a nice store, Dean and DeLuca, or, any sort of great cheese place in New York. There's so many, I can't even, there's a lot, put it like that. So, if you did it that way, you'd fuck the entire thing up. So your final dish is only as good as your worst ingredient. And I think that Italians love that simplicity, and they know that when they make fragrances. They have to get very good materials or it just won't work out right. So I think that's a lesson that Profumum Roma and other Italian fragrance houses have learned. Now, as far as your presentation goes, this comes in a box. I'm not going to open it up, but basically it's very well secured. It has the price on the back with the barcode. There's basically nothing else on the box. I'll open it, I guess. In the inside, though, it comes in a travel. It comes without the atomizer on, spray. So it just comes with this cap on. It also comes with a under this, which is just a guide about Profumum Roma. It comes with a little funnel because it also comes with funnels in there. It also comes with a 10 ml, I believe, travel bottle, a roll-on bottle. So that funnel is so that you can put the 10 mLs into that little travel bottle, the roller bottle, and carry that around with you wherever you go. Now, I did that. That's why you see some juice missing. It's because I've been wearing this every day for the past 2 weeks. And also because I put the 10 ml in a little roller travel bottle, and I gave it to someone that works for me that's really into fragrances. He's been learning a lot from me, and he's a college kid, so we didn't have the money to necessarily buy fragrances like this. So I just thought it would be nice, because he really liked this one, to give him that little roller ball with the 10 mLs. So that's what I did. So that's why I don't have it now, and that's why you see a decent amount out of the bottle, because I got this about a couple weeks ago, and that's a lot gone already. But that's just so you guys know. Now, we're talking about the way Italians do things, and they do their fragrances the way I described. No house demonstrates that technique better than this one. You know, simple, citruses and vanilla. Oh, actually, I didn't do the bottle, so let me just talk about the bottle real quick. Dulcis and Fundo, Profumum Roma, 100 ml, 3.4 fluid ounce. It has the name of the house there. Decent atomizer. It's one of those screw-on-ons. I'm sure you guys have seen them many times. They're not the best, but they do shoot a decent amount of juice, so not bad. Certainly passable. But when you spray this on, the first thing you're going to notice is that there's very little alcohol aroma here. You don't get anything artificial or synthetic smelling. Just imagine the best orange creamsicle scent, the best one, like from a tiny gelato shop, or just a scoop of like top tier vanilla ice cream with a little bit of orange sorbet, but the most natural quality of the citrus and the vanilla. You know, imagine that sweet vanilla citrus accord, having it on your skin. And that's what you're going to smell like, people, with this. If you're a fan of linear fragrances, you'll be in seventh heaven. This is linear, and I mean that in a complimentary way, not as a dig to the house. But what's the most stunning to me about this, guys, and I think it's this way with all Profumum Roma fragrances, it's insanely powerful. Longevity and projection are blowaway on this one. Projection for me is 10 hours. No bullshit. And longevity is around 20 hours plus. And again, I'm not embellishing that. This is truth. It's a very basic and simple fragrance. Creamsicle, no doubt about it. But Profumum Roma can do complex ones, and they've proven that with Fumidus and Arso. But where I think Profumum Roma excels, guys, are these stunning, stunning gourmands. Total unisex fragrance here. Women and men, come one, come all. But what a sexy fragrance for a guy. I've said this a lot. When it's warm out, women want you to smell fresh and clean. And when it's cold out, they want something edible and sexy. And you're not going to do something much better than these for that. If this was an Achillean coffin at $235 for a 50 ml, no one would bat an eyelash. And Profumum Roma is giving you 100 mls and an insane concentration strength. They told me at Oswald it's close to 40% pure perfume oils. That's bananas. Bananas. What I also love about this is that it's a 4-season scent. Great for chilly days because you have that very prominent vanilla, but can also stand up to the heat because of the citrus. Now, I wouldn't wear this in the dog days of summer, but on a cool spring day or summer night, you can pull this off. As far as occasion goes, this can work in lots of occasions. You can wear it hanging out. You can wear it out on a date. You can wear it at work if you show some restraint with it. You could wear it for a night out. You can wear it dressed up. The possibilities with this one are endless with this beautiful, beautiful fragrance. And this, guys, was very easy to rate for me. 8 out of 10. I wish these were, my two little criticisms are, I wish these were available at a few more places. I really do, because I wish they were easier for people to access and sample. And then the second thing is, well, I really love this fragrance. I'm not going to say that it's breaking entirely new ground. The composition isn't something new. But with that strength of the formulation, it is new, and it's breaking new ground. It's just a really good fragrance. And anyone who loves hearing that they smell delicious or edible should check this out. But further than that, check out Profumum Roma. There are so many gems in this line, and they told me at Oswald that a new line of fragrances from Profumum Roma is coming out. It's going to be a series of travel spray size fragrances. They're going to be a little bit lighter on the wallet. That's great. And they're all going to be brand new fragrances. So just totally new stuff that's not in the Profumum Roma line that's out now. So that's going to be great. And again, if you have not been to Oswald, please go to Oswald. They're so friendly. And they told me they have another 5 to 10 houses coming in the next month or so. So they're really making a name for themselves and carving out a real stake of the niche fragrance and skincare market in New York City. So bravo to Oswald and bravo to Profumum Roma. You guys are both doing your thing, man, in a big way. Shouts out to both of you. Anyway, that is this week's episode of Maximilian Must Know. We will be back next week for 2 more episodes. You guys know what it is. Please check this guy out. You cannot go wrong. Check out all of them. Check out Acqua Zucchero. Check out Petito di Ali. Check out Vanitas. Check out Confetto. Check all of them out. Check out Arso. Check out Fuminous. These are the truth, guys. They're the truth. I won't lead you astray. You know that. These are the real deal. These are the fucking real deal. So do the math and go get them. Go, at least go check them out. I'm Maxmilian.
I could go on for a year about how would it be if you were still here. Gamers got cheaper. Rappers is more commercially successful now, but the heart's a lot weaker. You know me, still got the flow to the pop speakers. First option on offense, the top feature.